World Baseball Classic about a month and change away.
Is there a way just to call him directly?
Yeah, we'll got JP right here. We got the foremost authority on all things World Baseball Classic. JP Morosi with us on a Thursday. JP, apparently we have gotten our first looks at Captain Judge for the Americans.
As we always say, number 99 looks great in the pinstripe uniform, but I've got to say this. Team USA, Captain Aaron Judge, everybody get this jersey if you can. That is a great look for our captain of our national team, Aaron Judge. It is sharp. It is sharp. It's a little bit.
Either, man. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping on that. And Harold and Maddie, there's a little bit of an adjustment from the way the U.S. jersey looked last time around. So it's a little.
Well, this is tighter.
It's better. It's tighter. I love the piping there. The navy. The WBC uniforms in general are awesome, but this one hits perfectly. And it got me thinking as I saw this yesterday. If I was to be manager Dero for a day, what is my game one lineup looking like against Team Brazil in Houston about 6 weeks away? Back of the envelope, here's what I've got. Schwarber leading off, and then I go right with Witt and Judge. You love having the switch hitting bat, and Cal Raleigh there batting fourth. Bregman fifth, a great run producer for Alex. The first baseman, to be named later, will likely bat sixth. And then I love this bottom third of the lineup. Carroll, Buxton, Turang. When you look at the WBC, the ability to play a little bit of smaller ball when needed. Obviously, Buxton can hit the ball to the ballpark too, and so can Carroll and so can Turang. But they can beat you in different ways. And I love that that's a great table-setting part of the lineup to then have Schwarber swing around to the top. But, guys, we could debate, especially those first three players. We could have a whole show. If you'd rather have Schwarber, Witt, and then Judge, you could also lead off with Witt. But, my friends, what do you think about my game one lineup?
Well, like you said, you can go a lot of ways, so I won't blast you too much. But I don't have Schwarber leading off. Not with this team. What are you doing?
He's one of the best leadoff hitters in the game. I realize, listen,
I'm sorry.
He's not going to steal a bunch of bases, Harold, but you've got the small ball at the bottom part of the line.
JP, you got Bobby Witt, Bregman, Carroll, Buxton. He's not leading off for me. That's okay. I want him to drive some people in when he hits a ball to the ballpark.
Harold has been on the don't lead off Kyle Schwarber train for a while, JP.
And look at the year he put together when he didn't lead off.
I'm not picking a side on either one of your cases here. I'm just restating that you've been very firm in your stance for a long time. You have not flip-flopped on that.
I understand that. I'll say this, though. This is one of the most athletic Team USAs that we have ever seen in the Classic.
So
and one of the reasons why I got it, but it's the length, Harold. Just look at that bottom third. I want to have that group together. And so, listen, there's no such thing as a bottom third in this lineup, obviously, when you think about how talented they all are. But my big picture point, however you order them for Manager Reynolds and Manager Vespersen.
I do like that you didn't put Aaron Judge hitting two.
Well,
Thank you.
We will say this, too.
I'll give you that.
There are many complexities around building a roster, penning a lineup, utilizing your pitching staff, and tops among those is workload, right? So if somebody needs or requests a lighter workload, the whole calculus changes. I mean, these are really tough decisions for
So real quick, JP, this is quick work here. But I'm having Judge at 3, Schwarber 4, and Raleigh 5, because Raleigh and Judge are going to give Schwarber, make them make a decision. You want to bring a lefty in? Okay, I got a 60-homer switch hitter behind him.
I like that a lot. Hey, JP, let's change
and move on down.
Let's change the conversation, though. Let's talk about Team Japan. And by way of refresher, why don't we put that full screen up, guys, about the
we got that full screen built?
Yeah, we got that built, the brackets. Here we go. Here's where everybody plays and against whom.
You look like you had some Cuban restaurant in Cuba.
Yeah, Cuba not represented on this board here, but all your favorite places are here. Pool A is
toughest
Cuba.
Bracket, JP. Toughest bracket. Toughest pool.
That is a great question. I think the toughest pool is Tokyo because I believe that Korea is getting better. Chinese Taipei, of course, the Taiwanese national team, they are the reigning Premier 12 champions. They are getting better and better. And, of course, you've got the reigning champs in Japan. So I think that is the hardest of all the pools. But if it's not going to be Team Japan against Team USA in the final. The biggest threat is right there in Pool D, where that noise, and Maddie and Harold, you've heard it, when the Dominican Republic is playing in Miami, it's some kind of noise. I mean, my ears just stopped ringing yesterday from the 2017 WBC in that building. and you think about the Dominican Republic and what we have seen from them already. Now, there's been some new news on this.
Harold.
It's loaded. It's loaded.
Guys, by the way, with manager Pujols, now that's what I love. When the phone rings and it's Hall of Fame manager Albert Pujols saying, I want you to play for the Dominican Republic, who's going to say no to Albert? And the answer is nobody. Look at that lineup, and the biggest difference for me is the better pitching. We've seen this week Sandy Alcantara, Christopher Sanchez as well from the Phillies has come on and he is committed. You've got Vladdy. Now, Vladdy, interestingly, could have represented Canada. He was born in Montreal, but he's chosen to play for the Dominican Republic. They just have had Machado, Perdomo, Jose Ramirez, Julio Rodriguez, Soto. I mean, look at that list.
It's crazy.
I think top to bottom, guys, that lineup is going to be the most fun to watch of any team.
And they will have the most fun. Can you imagine how much fun they're going to have?
I know those charters will be the most fun, too. The legendary charter of, was it 2015?
Yeah.
Where they the undocumented little person that was taken aboard the aircraft as a mascot. You had, like, uncles and aunts sitting on either side of
this is stuff Matt remembers.
This is what I remember. I remember our fantastic colleague, our executive producer, Chris Pfeiffer, sitting in the middle of some players' aunts, and they were passing a rum bottle over him for like 6 hours, and he got off the plane and he just had rum lap. Because he was like this, is there? And the little guys running up and down the aisle. There's music, there's livestock on the plane. Like, what a blast!
They had a monkey on there too, didn't they?
Did they have a monkey?
I think they did.
I think you might be right about that.
Oh my God!
You got Big Poppy, who's
Bubbles
back in the day.
Jackson.
Big Poppy's like he's chartering booze cruises on off days. They'd fly.
I'll say this, a quick story about Big Poppy. We were doing the games there in 2017. He was retired, and then he just showed up in the dugout in the middle of the game. He was just there.
Yeah.
And I remember I said to Fife, should we interview him? And I think Chris's response was, he's not supposed to be there, JP. Let's just ignore that for now.
Thank goodness those guys have as much fun as they do. It makes it so good to watch. Hey, let's not let this one go because we didn't get to it yesterday. Nolan Arenado had played for Team USA in 2 different cycles of the World Baseball Classic. He is changing uniforms this year.
Team Puerto Rico for Nolan Arenado. So great news for Nolan and his family. He is proud of his Puerto Rican heritage. He has represented, as you mentioned, the U.S. twice. And this is not an uncommon thing that's happened before when you've seen other players that have switched. Stroman comes to mind. Bruce Chen has represented multiple countries. Actually, there was a time before A-Rod's surgery in 2009 where he was going to go from the U.S. in 2006 to the Dominican in 2009. So this has happened before. And Nolan has often talked about how the heritage that he has, both Cuban and Puerto Rican in his family, has really inspired him and just given him a deep appreciation for international
I'm glad
baseball.
you brought that up. I'm glad you brought up the Cuban, because when I heard he's playing for Team Puerto Rico, I said in our meeting this morning, I thought he was Cuban.
You look like he's both. Cuban wrestler in Cuba.
He's both. He's Puerto Rican, Cuban, and, of course, American above all else. So he's represented the U.S. twice. He already has a gold medal and a silver, and now wants to have a gold playing for Team Puerto Rico as well.
Seth Lugo, is he involved in this at all? Because I just remember the Players' Weekend brilliant uniform back that he had, which read Puerto Rican at one point, because he is a quarter Puerto Rican.
Yes, and he was, and by the way, and this is the best part, of course, he's from Louisiana, and he was on the mound for the really important game for Team Puerto Rico. So, yes, my understanding, and again, we'll get a little more clarity on this next week, my understanding is that Lugo will be back pitching for Team Puerto Rico yet again in this class.
Hey, real quick, because we have less than a minute here. You're strapping on the ice skates tonight. What's going on?
Oh, yes. So I'm going right from here. So there's the list. So I'm going to be covering for NHL Network, our companion network there, the chase for Patrick Kane to pass Mike Modano for the most points ever by a U.S.-born player in the National Hockey League. So history upon us in the great city of Detroit. And that's me skating in Cooperstown. I think it was last year or the year before. I'm not very good. I can stay upright. I'll tell you this. I'm actually going to be playing in a Shocks and Saves charity game in about 10 days or so, in a game that involves actual retired NHL players. Wow. So keep me in your prayers. I'm going to try to stay upright and stay healthy during the course of the evening, but I don't get around too well. But if you exit the game healthy, that's a win.
Matt's played tennis with some retired players.
Hey, man, you look just fine out there on the ice. You skate better than Harold and I, that's for sure.